Everything I see is new. The sky's a nice shade of blue. And look, the grass is greener too. Since the first time I saw you, flowers grow around my door. I never seen that rose before, and now that rose means so much more. Must be you it's growing for, 'cause you're a wonder child, living in a world that's all surprise. You make me see things through your eyes. Wonder child, it's no wonder why I love you so. Rainy days are bright for me. Rainbows shine at night for me. It's you who taught me how to see. Opened up the world for me. Opened up the world.
If we were the children there, how would we feel? How would we want to be treated? And what do we consider is happening there and to them?
Okay, voy a empezar como si yo fuera uno de esos niños, como si yo fuera un niño de ellos. ¿Yo qué sentiría? Yo diría que extraño a mi madre, mi país, mi comida. Me siento solo.
If I were one of those children, I would be very saddened. I would miss my family, my food, my traditions, and I would.
As a child there, I would be looking at the adults that are around me, and I would be very worried because I used to think that they would be my guides, that they would know what was going to happen to me, and now I see in their faces they don't know what's going on. They are not very happy with me, and I am not very happy with them.
Horribly sad, and have come from a country where the violence is so bad that my own family felt like I'd be better off coming here, not knowing whether I make it or not.
I would be thinking about all the abuses that I've suffered in my village, in the crossing of the southern border. I would have been abused and exploited so many times on the journey, and that I just don't know how I'll ever trust anybody ever again.
I really tried to grasp onto any hope that I could have that there were people that really cared about what would happen to me, what would happen to all of us.
Or if they would send me to another warehouse, I would be scared for, I would be very fearful and lonely.
And I would be so confused because what has the world become that people are so scared of letting other people into their country that they lock us in a big house and we don't get cared for, we don't get loved.
Tristes, sin ver a nadie, pero vamos a orar porque yo sé que Dios lo está viendo a ustedes como a mí también, y Él va a tener compasión.
That are in a pen as if they were animals.
Por eso estamos aquí en apoyo de mi hijo y de ustedes madres que tienen a sus niños allá.
I will continue to speak until we achieve justice.
Tenemos que unirnos, tenemos que unir las voces, tenemos que unir las fuerzas hasta que nos escuchen, porque mi hijo no es el único asesinado, no es el único que han...
That is why the children live in sadness.
Las casas de carretón, de los que da plata se estremecieron. Se oyó por Moyogalpa, por Plepaneca y por Chichigalpa. Cristo ya nació, a la cagüina, Chepe, pavón, 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 y una tal María. Pero no vayas a enamorarte con la aurora, tendrás que marcharte para no volver.
Hundreds of immigrant children still being held at a facility in Nogales.
Every day, some leave, others are dropped off, and now the volunteer organization Border Patrol Victims Network is demanding what they call justice for the kids.
9 News Side's Christina Myers joins us live in Nogales, where the group held a vigil earlier this evening. Christina.
Stella, Guy, a couple dozen people walked from downtown Nogales to this spot on the border wall. It's here where 16-year-old José Antonio Elena Rodriguez was shot and killed by a Border Patrol agent back in 2012. And volunteers with the Border Patrol Victims Network say José and others just like him serve as the perfect example as to why they believe that these kids should be with anyone but Border Patrol.
Oh, I love you so.
Just a few hundred feet from the entrance to Mexico from Nogales, the Border Patrol Victims Network came together. They're demanding a stop to what they call the inhumane treatment of illegal immigrant kids held at the Border Patrol facility here.
The Border Patrol have such a poor track record in human rights abuses and shootings of civilians that to put them in charge or have any role in the detention of these kids is a major concern.
Others have toured the facility and said the conditions inside are fine, and Border Patrol is doing everything they can. But volunteer Richard Boren says enough food and access to showers is just not good enough.
To have 1,000 kids packed in a warehouse environment, and with all the trauma involved that these kids have gone through, and to be warehoused in this fashion is clearly insufficient. They could be easily provided greater resources and be put in a more humane environment.
The group then walked to the border wall, where they were joined by more supporters on the Mexican side, all calling for compassion when considering the future of these immigrant kids.
One thing that should definitely be out of the question is just some sort of immediate deportation. That would be absolutely outrageous.
The group also brought a letter to the detention facility with their list of demands on it. They were stopped at the gate, but they were able to drop that letter off with the guard on duty. Live in Nogales, Christina Myers, KGUN 9.
How do you expect Border Patrol to react when you try to go up to their gated facility with this letter?
Well, I expect they'll be hostile as usual. I think it's rare to find them in a good mood.
This group wasn't content just holding a vigil for the Central American children, warehoused on the other side of this fence.
So I'd greatly appreciate that would those could be taken into account.
It will, sir.
Well, having you here, I think, of course, made a big difference.
Intend to send more help for the migrant children across the Southwest. A vigil just wrapping up this evening as the Border Patrol Victims Network says there is a lot that needs to change. KLD News 13's Craig Reck has the details from Nogales.
We're a few miles from that holding facility tonight because here is where dozens of people rallied through downtown Nogales. And I have with me here the list of demands from the Border Patrol Victims Network. In this list, we have a call for an outside agency like UNICEF or Amnesty International to constantly check on the conditions of that facility. So far, we've heard from just about everybody who's toured that facility. Descriptions vary from sophisticated squalor to the best that agents can do. But tonight, people here say there's more that the government can do, specifically more access to mental health screenings and care, or some sort of legal advice workshop to help these children understand the situation that they're in. So one group turned in the demands while the rest marched to the border with banner and song. But as one man tells me tonight, he's worried that nothing will change because of politics in Washington.
These kids should be a political hot potato. They deserve, like any kid around the world that fled and crossed an international border, to be given the humane treatment and to have the resources dedicated to help figure out, what is in the kid's best interest.
And when it comes to the future of these children, Boren tells me that there should be no talk of deportation. Even if these children do not have any family in the United States, he says it would be inhumane to send them back to the country that they left behind. Reporting in Nogales, Craig Rack, KLD News 13, live local late break.